Well, do you know what's funny is like when you originally introducing us, you're like, we know a little about drifting, and instantly I was thinking of maybe with all of our brains combined, we know enough is about one good person in drifting. So,
but what do the good people know about drifting?
See, that's the thing is I think as a group we should be able to at least come up with one thing.
One drift fact.
As an individual, I think it's going to be tough on us.
So the three of us pretty much makes one decent
guy
drift.
about drift guy. Probably like a mid pro-am driver.
Wonder triplet powers activate.
There you go.
Hey, we're here, guys. So anyways.
Yeah, so this is our first drift cast. It's a drift podcast that the three of us are doing. You got me right now on the talking. That's me, Sam, aka Drift Idiot. And to my right, we've got Corey.
Hey guys, Corey Hosford.
Long time
listener, long time caller.
And that beautiful, charming Spanish laugh you heard from the other side of the room. That's Paco.
Hi guys.
Hey Paco.
Hi Corey.
It's like I haven't seen you in a while. How have you been?
I know. I've been good. How about you, man?
Do you know what? I couldn't be better. I'm sitting here with you guys drinking some good old tea, and
how are your hemorrhoids?
They're flaring up right now.
So we're doing this drift podcast thing. This is our first time doing it, and we're gonna spill all of the beans. The drift bean jar it was upright before, and now it's about to be tipped over. But let's first talk about why we are qualified to do this. So Corey,
I don't think we are qualified, but let's find out. Like, what do we have to say?
Corey Hosford, who are you? What do you do?
No, well, in a sense, we're all qualified that we've each done a little bit in the drift community in some way, shape, or form.
Just like you qualified.
Just a few times. Just like I said, a few times. Okay. So I think we have enough insight, and we talk about this anyway.
But why? Who are you? I don't know who you are. Tell the audience who you are, Corey Hosford.
Well, I was an ex-Formula Drift competitor, Pro-Am competitor, took hiatus, started a business, and now... He's feeling my chest.
No, it's moving you away from the mic hair. That's okay.
And getting back in the whole drifting thing again. And so...
so you spent a year in FD Pro 1.
2 years.
2 years. 2 years.
2 years, yep.
And you piloted the orange K-Sport 350Z.
Yep. Yeah, so...
so you know how to drive a bit. And before that, and during some of that, you were teaching people how to drive a Bondurant.
Yeah, I've had a wide range of a driving background. A lot of people think that I've only done drifting. I've done everything from grip racing to dirt track racing to motorcycle racing to finally end up in the sport that I was super passionate about, obviously, which is drifting. And
but you were one of those kids that like your parents threw you in a seat and the steering wheel and told you to rip it at like a young age, right?
Oh yeah, no, I come from a racing background. My dad used to race flat track motorcycles.
You come from a long line of racists.
A long line of racists, starting with my grandpa and my father. Now
he's a cute racist.
He is not a bad guy.
Yeah,
and just had a passion for it, and here we are still doing it.
Hell yeah! And what's your status today?
Just finished building a new car. Just finished building the Rocket Bunny Boss 14 that we're going to be utilizing in Formula Drift Pro 2.
And so you're decked out here. For those that are just listening, he's decked out in some street standard gear, and that is another venture of yours, right?
Yeah, that was one of the big reasons for the hiatus. Is starting this new business venture with a business partner of mine, Matt Haugen, who also competes in Top Drift and Vegas Drift, and going through that whole circuit. And it's just a great opportunity to kind of step back from the sport, kind of structure myself and my drifting career and put myself in a better position where I'm not necessarily driving for a big sponsor. I'm driving for myself and kind of making my own calls. Having more fun with it. And that's one thing I couldn't have done before.
You didn't have any fun before?
Well, I think that's part of the reason why I got some recognition as drifting. I was probably the only one having fun and making fun of myself, and just having. I think there was a short period there where drifting kind of, as a spectator, lost that entertainment factor from the individual drivers.
It's been boring as heck since you've been gone. I can't wait for you to finally come back and bring it back. On the other side of the room, we got Paco Ibarra.
Ibarra?
Ibarra. That's how you say it, right?
I have to roll your R's.
Ibarra. Don't purr in the mic.
Yes,
Jesus
I can.
Christ, I just got chills up my neck.
Paco, what's your deal?
That's my deal. Well, some of you guys probably know I created the abomination known as the Tofu Drift Van. Which, for those of you don't know what that is, it's a 91 Toyota Previa minivan that has an S14 rear subframe. It's all roll caged.
And that's all relatively new at first. You're just out there in this Panda painted Initial D inspired minivan. It's a rear wheel drive minivan factory stock. So it already was a drift unit, and Paco wanted to be a little bit different. Because before that, you were drifting a Corvette.
Yeah, the Corvette just wasn't cutting it. It was
so you decided to go for something a little bit.
I need to upgrade.
You need to get something
a
little easier for it to drift, like a minivan, and you've been rocking that thing, and have been turning that into a freaking nuts drift sled with.
It's still lacking on the horsepower department, but all the suspension has been worked. The last event just a month ago actually is the first time that I could say that I actually drifted properly. So
you linked the whole beast.
I linked the whole thing.
You slayed the dragon.
Yes, slid that van like I was mom gonna pick up her kids from.
Why would you have to be a mom and not a dad, Paco?
Yeah, I don't know. Dads can raise kids too, Paco. It's a new millennium.
I don't know. I think like the whole concept of like the the soccer mom is just like it
really appeals to you.
Yeah.
We can say that. Yeah.
What else are you doing these days?
I also run a little side business known as 2F Performance with my partner CHRIS FORSBERG, also a fellow drifter. Many of you guys know him for driving that red, candy red 240 coupe. Pretty good guy. We manufacture the infamous Super Doof kits. Which
I've seen them before.
You have seen them, yeah.
I have one on my S14.
Oh, that's right. That's what you're rocking on your sled.
So yeah, and that's also in conjunction with Forrest Wang. He's got Super Doof on his FD cars.
Yes, sir.
And you guys also sponsor a couple other drivers.
Yeah, we have a few drivers going on right now on Formula Drift. A few new drivers going on Pro 2. We also have a couple new drivers going on Formula Drift Canada.
Hell yeah.
And
there you go.
Yeah, it's we're growing. I mean, we're not like selling as much as we expected, but everything.
So what we're trying to say is sponsored by 2F Performance.
Sponsored by 2F Performance and Street Standard.
Hey.
You guys are both selling body kits. Has that ever been weird? Do you guys have are you worried that your body kit off is going to come to a head one day and you both are going to fight each other with side skirts and swords?
With a body kit off? Sword fight?
Because Street Standard sells 2F Performance kits. Yeah.
Can you still fight with side skirts someday?
We probably could.
Those are like just huge swords.
Just ram each other with them.
Whoa!
Hey, watch out now! Come on, this is like PG-13.
Escalated.
Can I talk about who I am?
And I was just about to say. So
I am. Hold on, Sam. So okay, can you please give me your first last name?
What do you do, Sam? Like,
how did you get into this whole thing? What is this? Give me this
Nalven?
idea of Drift Idiot.
I go by the name Drift Idiot.
Drift Idiot.
So here I was, a wee lad. So first I was born.
Oh my God!
And from
fast forward 60 years ago,
I had always wanted a drift car, and then I was getting real old, like age 25, 26.
Wow,
real old. And I was like, I better buy a friggin' drift car if I'm gonna do this. So I did.
But wait! Before that, you used to watch Formula Drift, and who was your favorite drifter?
Oh, that's tough. I mean, I was a big fan of CHRIS FORSBERG.
What year was this? This was what 20.
Oh, and Matt Powers.
And Matt Powers.
Yeah, Matt Powers. 2011.
So that's how it started with me. Is I saw a Speed Hunters post with Matt Powers' green car, and I'd always been kind of interested in drifting, but I saw that, and that kind of kicked it off.
And you bought the exact same car.
I bought an S14, not the exact same car.
I say like
I actually wanted an S13 coupe at first, but there weren't any around, and I found a nice little Klipzenki 240 SX S14, and I had a GoPro that my mom gave me for Christmas.
She's a nice lady.
She is a nice lady. Drift mom Jan. Hey. And
hi, Mom.
And I put the GoPro in the car, and I pressed the record button and made a video cut of it just for fun. And no one really watched that first one until the second one came out, and then Jalopnik hosted it, and then a bunch of people watched it and then told me how bad it was, and it was funny. And then I kept doing it, and then I was asked. Well, we're skipping a big part here where I met Corey.
Oh, tell me, Sam, what is it?
Corey and I hugged a lot. And
tell me more about that.
I started doing a few silly videos with Corey because my day job up until this point was just as a photographer and a valet.
And valet, that
I
was the
valet
best.
Cars, which I quit to do full time videography stuff mostly and drifting.
That was a terrible day.
Valeting, oh boy.
We all lost our
another conversation down the road is the cars that I may or may not have. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Well, it's even like, hey Sam, let's shoot videos. Oh man, I got to go valet today. And it's like, are you? We're giving up drifting to go valet.
Yeah, well, I had to keep the mouth fed. My mouth.
Your mouth. How many mouths did you have to feed? 2 cats.
Two. I only have one cat.
One cat.
I didn't even have any cats then.
Yeah.
Well. So long story short, from there I met Corey. We became buds. I shot a Hoonigan sponsor me video with him, which is still one of the best things.
It is. It has to be one of my favorite. Dude, still to this day, I have so many people still message me about that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, to the day, you still see people walking around the track with a handmade.
Yeah, handmade shirts, which I'm sure Hoonigan loves because they'd rather sell shirts.
Well, do you know what's funny is I remember the first time we ever worked together was you coming up to Bonnaroo and we did that photo shoot on the front straightaway, and then we were trying to do like a serious interview, and you're like, tell me your height and weight, or just give it. And we were starting to talk about, I'm 183 pounds of spaghetti.
Yeah,
like that was like, I think on my side, it was like the creativity started just it was turning a mess.
It's all been downhill from there. That was a catalyst. It's like, we really can't do anything serious, can we? And so then with that video, and then some of the bigger dogs. Not that Corey's not a big dog, but then someone asked me to edit Turked, and I did that. And then now I shoot professional video for the likes of Vern Griffin Jr., Chris, the Hamburgers, the Forsberg, and I shot some for Ryan Turk and Pro 2 driver for Kuge, and hopefully we'll shoot some more stuff this 2016 season.
Back in the day, Corey was teammates with CHRIS FORSBERG.
Actually,
and I think that's kind of what
that was the other good video that still does really well. Is
the Boss Force. That's what I named you guys, Boss Force. And the best part about that video is
the music.
The 10-step program or 5-step program. The music was great. It was Journey. But the best part was that I didn't know how to adjust audio levels yet.
Oh.
And the whole thing, if you go back and look at it, it's just peaking. And I don't ever wear headphones. There's so many users in the comments like, rip headphone users.
Yeah. This thing is like, you had no experience on making videos.
I didn't know. And that's
you were just a very good photographer.
That's the moral of the story here, kids, is pretend like you know what you're doing, but be humble about it, and then talk to your nearest local professional drifter.
That's what you call fake it till you make it.
Do you know, it's one of those, we literally tried starting this off as like, man, do you know what, we got to do let's do a season recap. Let's do an intro video. Let's do an intro video of you and going into Formula Drift. And we realized we were just ramming our heads in the table trying to get some really good content.
Yeah,
it was just brutal. So it turned into this.
Then it turned into Forsberg and Corey on a tandem bike.
Yeah, it was.
I think that was like one of the funnest part. I mean, I wish there was more actual footage of that because that's like 2 seconds of the video.
Well, I've got lots of footage. I watch it every night in a dark basement, and I giggle to myself. We're in a bathroom. So let's segue from there.
Literally, huh?
Wait, segues are out. Let's hoverboard from that.
Segues are like way too old now.
Do you feel like a fucking idiot now that you bought a Segway for like $3,000 and then like the hoverboard things came out, and then those are they're like $60 now.
Before we proceed, and I think a lot of the people who's listening, I mean, if there's anybody listening,
come on, don't say that. They're all here.
Might agree. They're not hoverboards.
I mean, it's easy to call them that.
Yeah, well, I know. Easier things don't make the ride. It just drives me nuts.
But then when you actually do,
they don't hover.
When you do build a hoverboard,
they don't hover.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you can smear it in all their stupid faces.
Yeah.
So when somebody actually makes a hoverboard, they're gonna call it skateboard. How about that? It's just gonna skate.
I wish I had the cricket. Yeah. I wish I had the cricket noise sound effect.
We'll add it on post.
So let's talk about some drifting. That's a long intro. Usually the intros to these things won't be so long, but we had to at least tell you who we were. Now you know. We are all of us barely qualified as one person to discuss drifting, but we'll do our best here. And for what's upcoming, what's the plan for the show is that we're going to talk about what drivers are doing. We're going to get guests on each show. We got a real good one coming up later. And then, when FD is going on, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about cool videos that are coming out, that are out, and our own progress through our own silly careers as Corey drives and crashes into things professionally, as I drive and crash into things amateurly and film the pros, and as Paco gets covered in fiberglass and crashes his van into stuff as well.
I haven't crashed it yet.
You will.
Knock on wood, Paco.
It will.
Come on, man.
Dude,
last thing I want to see that thing on fire on the tire wall.
I've been
I would die
inches from the tire wall and still
driving straight though. You weren't actually driving. You're driving straight right by that tire wall.
I don't know. Maybe like gonna open up the wall of tires and drive through.
I mean, the best part is like you've seen like the drift pickup conversion cars. You've just got the drift vans. Like whenever body panels and tires and crap falls off, you can just
it's just
pop open the lid.
Chopping and chopping.
No, you just put it all in the back and drive off track. That's actually the bumper sticker slogan.
Well, the other thing, like, you know, going back to the whole purpose of the show, this is things that we talk about anyways on a pretty regular basis.
That's kind of why we decided to do this. Is we're all just pretty much whenever we talk, we have nothing else to talk about other than drifting stuff, and that's not a bad thing. It's just you know, what else are we going to talk about? Because all of our lives have now been swallowed by this thing that is drifting, that is weird and terrible and wonderful. Otherwise we wouldn't all be here.
Yeah, on a side note to that, it's like, you know, we created all these relationships in the drifting community over the years, and it's, you know, sometimes we do have the inside scoop on what everybody else is doing leading up to the following year. Like, even for this off season, I'm sure you guys probably heard as much as I have, as people switching teams and leaving tire manufacturers,
people going down to Pro 2, people going from Pro 2.
So there's all these stuff that we kind of get in grasp before a lot of the typical, you know, audience gets. And, you know, if that's one thing we can share with you guys or elaborate on a lot of this content, you know, I'm sure we're going to open up some sort of message board or a community where you can ask us questions, obviously.
And tell us which parts you hate the most, and tell us which one is the stupidest sounding, stupidest looking. But yeah,
or if Paco should do like a karaoke segment for like a halftime show.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like the logical decision.
I'll totally do that.
The idea is that you're going to have a one-stop information update that is going to be humorous. It's
and joyful for the ears.
It's going to be entertaining.
It's velvety.
It's going to be velvet.
Velvet. Pure velvet. And now we go with a song by Dire Straits.
Let's talk about drifting.
Yeah.
So what? So let's start broad. You guys like some broads?
Yay!
Yeah.
Zinga.
So 2015 was it an exciting season? What do you think?
I think the first half of the season was more exciting than the second half. You know, the first 3 rounds were pretty exciting. You got Odie going on the podium right away. You kind of see
odium is
the
what
odium.
What he got up there.
the odium.
I think this season it brought change. That was like one of the biggest things. Like, it changed like who was up on the podiums all the time. Like, we saw drivers like Ken Gucci coming back from kind of like just like, it's Gucci, and then I was like, whoa, it's Gucci's back. You know,
we mix it up a bit more.
We had, like you say, Odie, and then like good drivers that were like, oh shit, you know, here comes Daigo. Well, Daigo didn't even figure for the entire season.
Well, I mean, so expert opinion on that. Like, we saw him rip in the SC, which changed the game so fast because you could say that he fired the first shot in the horsepower war by showing up with estimated like 1,200 horsepower when everyone still had like 600. So he changed that game, and then he shows up in this GTR, which should have been a monster, but I guess with any undeveloped new car, you run into issues.
But it was also weird because it was heavier and he had less power, and he had 22s.
And then I saw 22s.
Like,
that was silly. And I saw that he kept on
weird.
He kept on blowing rear diffs or something like that, because I saw a post on Speed Hunters, I think, that Siki had helped them make a new rear frame that was lighter and stronger. I don't remember.
Yeah, exactly. I think like he kept breaking the subframes.
Mm-hmm.
The subframe, they couldn't take the power or something like that.
So either way, hopefully 2016 season he comes back a lot more developed here and rips it. So Daigo was off the podium, which is weird. Turk got on the podium for the first time in a while, which is awesome. He was
doing great. He
that
seemed like he was gonna win this year. At a certain point, I thought Turk was gonna get the championship.
Yeah, well, he was definitely on top by one point, as I pointed out in my very awful, silly driver interviews. That he did the absolute minimum effort by getting just 1 point.
Man, that that was beautiful.
That was he
well
got 1 point
executed.
And then unfortunately he was knocked down because he kept on breaking rear end stuff too.
I know a lot of people was like, they were talking a lot of shit about like how he was moving up by having a lot of buy runs and things like that.
Well, I mean,
but at the end of the day, like in a competition level, if your car is still running and the other guy is not, you still win.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean
you're talking about the top of the podium in Orlando when Yokoi's car caught on fire.
Forsberg's
car had kind of caught on fire, but then there's some fire suppressant stuff that killed the motor. So yeah, Turk didn't run Forsberg for the top of the podium there, which would have been really cool, obviously. So he was bummed about that. But the moral of the story is that you still went out there and you still traveled across the country and spent all your money and built the car and had your team out there. So whether or not you get to the podium by a run or two or by an epic battle, like it still is as big of an accomplishment. You know, of course, you'd rather have beat his buddy in the final round, but
still a part of the race is keeping your car running. You know, that's part of the race. That
you are doing the absolute worst thing you can do to these cars, and there's a reason why they replace motors and suspension and brakes and all that stuff after sometimes only a few runs. So
yeah. Some people don't really understand like what's behind what they see on the live stream. You know, they just see, oh, he's running. Oh, he's not running. What an idiot! He broke the car. What an idiot! It's like.
It's a good Corey insider moment. Give us some facts. How long does a set of rear tires last?
You're looking at 2 runs. You know, you're going to go out there and do your battle, lead and chase, and then after that you're going to need that 5 minutes to change.
Yeah. So and by the end of the second run, sometimes too, I think you guys are losing grip, right? Like you actually have to plan where you're going to put the power down sometimes because you don't have time for a tire change after the first run. So if you use up 95% of your tires when you're only halfway through the second run, you're boned there.
Oh yeah, you know, there was a point where it was like Irwindale, even like 2012 and 2013, where they had that big sweep up the middle of the track. Is, you know, you get your first run in and you're going into the second round, just you're knowing that you're lucky if you make it. So, you know, typically when you get new tires on, you're going to have to scrub them, you know, get some of the mold release off. And that turned into like a little light burnout just to kind of get enough off so you can make sure, because a lot of people used to do, you know, big old smoky scrub burnouts. But now it's like to a point where the tracks were so long, it's like, man, I hope I make this second run. And a lot of people were losing it there.
Do you think that, I don't, someone I'm sure knows this, but is that why they shortened the Irwindale configuration for 2015, do you think?
No, I really thought they changed the course. Well, partially for that, but the other one was for the spectator purposes. As soon as you made that long sweeping, you know, cross right up the middle of Irwindale, the whole middle of the track was smoked out, so you couldn't even see the finish line.
Yeah, I remember trying to shoot from like the grandstand area, and yeah, you more or less lose the cars entirely after they come by the grandstands and smoke out that whole area.
So I think it was a combination of those two things. You know, they still put on a great show. Formula Drift does an awesome job putting on a show, and they'll kind of cater the tracks to it. And another big track that had that issue was New Jersey.
Yeah.
New Jersey was another track where, you know, it's just a bowl.
And do you see
back and forth and
I love the bowl aspect of it. It's the coolest part for shooting too, because like the smoke just gets stuck in there and the light gets really crazy. Do you see, one of the questions that I've actually had forever and I never really get to ask anyone, surprisingly, is like you're on the wall the whole time driving, essentially turning right, like this entire course. Yep. So do you like, is one of the tires like significantly more worn than the other?
Oh yeah, you'll definitely get uneven tire wear depending on the track. Yeah, that's a big one. Seattle's another one where you'll get uneven tire wear.
The tires become cones after going down through that long sweeper.
Just so it's so weird to fathom for new dudes out there too, because being the dumbass that I am, like trying to learn to drift initially, is that I saw these guys using like, you know, the stickiest, best tires that you could buy, and I was like, oh, I should do that because that's what they do. And
I was the best.
And it did not work well. So the good news is that if you are getting into drifting, it's not going to be a set of tires every 2 runs. I usually go through now, even with like 250 horsepower, I'll go through like a set of tires, maybe an event, and that's not every time, and that's after doing maybe 20, 30 runs. So if you're getting started, that whole 2 tire thing is not really. What so like your business partner Matt Haugen, he's got this super beefed up Genesis now. He's getting down to the 2 run zone, isn't he?
Yeah, well, once again, let's go back to the Daigo era, 2012.
Yeah,
that guy really screwed everything up for us. That guy is
in a good way,
in a great way, in a sense, but he's the one who put this 1,000 horsepower mark on the map. That
and
a
that's
lot of
like
people
in 2015, that was like pretty much everyone.
Oh yeah, everybody.
I think Odie said that he is like 6 or like 800, but I think that was probably everyone. See,
well, Odie's still calling around looking for more power.
The thing about the horsepower thing too is that it's reported by the drivers, so there is no official like FD measurement, and they measure each car.
Official dyno.
Yeah, so you get to say how much power you have. So I'm
gonna go back there with 6,400.
Yeah, but I mean, also I think some guys are saying like, oh, I've only got 700 horsepower, but it's very obvious that they have a lot more than that, or have their car set up with some sneaky Pete's under the passenger seat. Oh, the sneakiest. Should we?
Well, you know, going back to what you were mentioning earlier, you know, you're talking about you're running a 250 horsepower SR and S14, and years ago that was a competitive platform, and you know, you look at even Pro-Am, you look at amateur drifting, you know, even 2, 3, 4 years ago, LS swaps were just getting popular. So you run a stock LS, you're making 390, 400 horsepower, and people are like, dude, Paco's running an LS in his car. He's going to kill it because he has 400 horsepower. But now look at, once again, go back to that damn Daigo era where he comes in here with 1,000 horsepower.
I'm not trying to hold your hand. Corey keeps at the table. We're holding the hand for the rest of this.
And but so hold on. So it's going back.
No, you hold on. Sorry, go
Samuel.
On.
Hey, you two hold it.
So you go back to Daigo making 1,200 horsepower.
Should we all hold hands while we have this conversation?
No.
All right. Well,
we're in the.
All right. So Daigo has.
Well, I'm going back to the Pro-Am era. Okay, Daigo's starting this whole crazy 1,200 horsepower rampage, and everybody's freaking out. But that trickled down to the Pro-Am. What type of horsepower do you need to make to be semi-competitive in Pro-Am? Look at Top Drifter,
800 horsepower.
What was the gentleman? I'm sorry, I don't know his name. I showed the black BMW in Pro 2 that completely ripped this year.
Alex Hillebrand?
Hillebrand. So his car was obviously a Pro 1 contender this year, and he just wiped the floor. Because, that car had probably, that was a Pro 1 car for sure.
Oh, look at the, HEK team?
Yeah, HEK with Kristaps and his teammate, the Corvette. So, yeah, like you see the Pro 2.
His name is now turned into the Corvette.
I think, what was his name?
Kristaps in
like
the Corvette.
Sergey or
Dale Earnhardt.
That sounds like a really lovely Latvian. That sounds like a really wonderful Latvian children's movie. Kristaps in the Corvette. So all the Pro 2 cars are now like they are Pro 1 cars.
They're Pro 1 level.
From years ago.
The difference, I believe, is on the driver.
Yeah, of course. And driving,
and
that's the thing though too, is like when I started doing my little silly drifting a few years ago, my original goal was like I want to be the very best. I want to be a Pro 1.
You have high goals, Sam.
I know but I mean that's why so many kids start, and I've gotten this email, as I'm sure both of you guys have at some point, from kids saying or at least talking to you, saying like they want to be the next big drifter guy.
Right.
And I think a few years ago, someone with good driving talent and good marketing and
I was
the right
wanted to be the
resources,
next Jeff Jones.
and a lot of money, you could I think foreseeably do that. But now I am no longer really trying to do that Pro 1 thing, because I know now.
Why, Sam? Why
because
would you
I know
not
now
do that?
is that I.
That's a ridiculous.
I think I'm an above average driver on the spectrum of people that drive cars, but Pro 1 driver level now is gotten so insane in that the learning curve and the balls to throw your 1,000 horsepower money making machine at a wall at the speeds that you need to, and then hit the gas at the speeds you need to, and all this stuff has gotten so insane that I think the regular kid going out there trying to make good is up against so much more competition compared to just a few years ago.
But look at also the grand scheme of things. It's a business now. It's not just going out there and drifting. As you mentioned, it's marketing. It's having the ability.
I mean, it's always been.
Look at Formula Drift Atlanta 2005, right? You go ahead and spend time.
SR20s.
What was I doing then?
KAs.
I was.
And you can still YouTube that. So if you want to take a minute and take a good look at it, go ahead and YouTube that, because you'll see a difference. You'll see the difference in the drivers, the quality cars, and the marketing. I don't think the drivers were nearly as marketed back then, but they saw the value behind it.
Are there other sports that are so, other motorsports I should say, that are so self-driven? Because like unless you as a individual, it seems to me that unless like you as an individual are a brand yourself, that you are your marketing manager, you are your chief mechanic, you are obviously the driver, but you've got to be all these things.
Well, so you look at motorsports in a general, look at NASCAR, look at Supercross, look at any form of road racing. Those things have been around for 20, 30, 40, 50 years plus, depending on the motorsport, right?
They're way ahead.
So the only form of exposure in that sense was, news articles, TV time, magazines, and the only way that you're able to get that out to the public is actually if a company were to pick you up and publicize you. Now Formula Drift came out 10 years ago, which coincidentally is when the internet just kept getting larger and larger and larger. I think the
internet, tell me more about that.
Well, the internet, it's actually a .com. What's the @ sign? What's that?
It's an ampler.
But what I was getting at is drifting started when YouTube and these social media outlets started
in the Japanese mountains on the
Touge. No, but what I'm relating it to is I really believe that this is the first motorsport that started where actually it was relevant to growth with social media and the internet. And that's so once people can see that I have my own outlet, let's utilize it. Obviously, 50-year-old, 60-year-old NASCAR driver is not going to be like, man, I'm going to hop on the internet and self-promote myself. I think Formula Drift kind of evolved with that in a sense. And
which is obviously why I'm sitting at this table today with very well-acclaimed Corey Hosford driver and my buddy Paco. And Paco's from the same background, is that we just started doing stupid shit and filming it.
Well, it wasn't really that stupid. I guess.
Come on, Paco.
I mean, stupid.
What I was gonna say is like, I mean, like people really liked what you were doing. I mean, one of the reasons I actually first approached you when I saw you on the track is like, oh, I've seen these guys' videos.
Was it my eyes?
No, it was actually the hair. I was like, I wonder like what this old guy like is going on.
What is he doing?
And then I realized
why is this old guy hanging out the racetrack?
For those that have not seen or not watching the video version of this right now, I have a lot of gray hair. I'm now 29. I've had the gray since I was like 16.
It's like platinum. It's like platinum hair.
It's like a George
It's becoming
Clooney
less
style.
cool as all my friends are starting to get gray hair, but whatever.
But yeah, so like, I mean, I was just, another driver going to the drift events, not looking for grandeur or anything like that, just like having fun. And I saw your videos. I think by then you were already on the third video, or maybe the fourth. Probably around the third.
I would say third is one of the best videos. That's where Brett was washing your car, right?
Yeah.
That was one
so
of my
it was
favorites.
around there because you still the other place and everything. And I was like, dude, like he's not doing anything like anybody else is like, you're just there drifting and having fun. But I remember when I started going to the drift events almost 3 years ago, before we met, we talk about 6 years ago, 6 or 7 years. It's been a long time.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. I was driving the Corvette, and I would just like, like I didn't know anybody. I was walking there, paying my fee, get my spot, and just like start like watching and then go on the track and just spinning and spinning and spinning. And I would try to go and talk to other people like, hey, how's it going? Hey, I'm trying to like to learn, like, you think you can give me some pointers? And like, oh, what do you drive? Oh, that blue Corvette over there. And immediately it was like the rejection. It was like, oh.
Well, when you first came up and talked to me, you were actually speaking Spanish. I was like, I have no idea what Paco's saying to me right now.
Yeah. Well, you yourself. Well, you were wearing a giant sombrero at the time, and
totally like tricked me out. Like I was like, oh, he must be Mexican.
No habla español, Paco. And you're like, oh, sorry.
I wear the sombrero for sun protection. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
But anyway, so yeah, like the people weren't really like very friendly, I would say, at the track. You would like talk to some of the people out there asking for advice, and they'll be like, oh, you drive a Corvette, like, oh, like you have a lot of money, which I didn't. I was just.
Well, I'm sure the gold chain and the finger rings and your hair slicked back. Well,
it's probably the chain. But anyways, that changed a lot. Like when I first bought the minivan, I was like, okay, I'm gonna piss everybody off with this. I was like, okay, like nobody liked me because I was driving a Corvette. I'm gonna bring something worse. So I brought the minivan. I remember the first day I showed up. I think you were there. Like the first time I showed as well, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's just a guy with a minivan." And then somebody saw me. They saw me getting in line to the track, and everybody was like, "Nah, he's not gonna drift it. He's just like probably gonna park next to the
he's gonna let the kids out."
Yeah, and then I actually went to a track, and like people just went like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" And I think you were one of the first guys to approach me, like, "Hey, man, I don't know what you're doing over there, but I like it." Yeah, I was like,
"Well, that's the biggest thing is that hopefully the kids they have to be nicer these days." Talking to people on the track is like the first track day I went to, and how I met Corey and Paco is you just be nice and ask questions and be humble. You're probably not very good at the start. No one really is. Yeah. So don't be afraid to ask people for help. I know. Pretty much, I imagine pretty much any pro driver and all of them answer emails directly. So I know at least from other drivers that they answer pretty much every message you send them on Facebook. So don't send them like, hey, oh, how do I drift thing? But if you have a specific question about setup or anything that could be answered by a driver that is knowledgeable, everyone's happy to help in this community, which is one of the best parts about it. But let's segue into, let's talk a little bit more about 2016 now, and then we'll get on to our very special guest. 2016 FD, what's changing? What do we?
Well, first of all, we have a lot of new drivers. Well, I mean, not like a lot, but let me see. I think I have the list right here. We have people.
So
Like
some drivers
obviously
are moving down to Pro 2.
Well,
some
yeah,
drivers are moving
some
up to
drivers
Pro
moving
1.
down to Pro 2. They're not doing
Some
Pro
drivers
anymore.
that have been sitting on their buns for a year, coming back and going into Pro 2.
Yeah, we have, for example,
Hey now.
coming from Pro 2, Brody Gobble. I think he won. Did he won Pro 2 last year? Last year, I think it was
Didn't Hildebrand win?
Hildebrand won, and then sorry, he won. I think he won second place in Irwindale. I can't remember. He's got like 1,000 horsepower S13 coupe, super badass car.
The big ones that I want to know about are who are the Pro 1 drivers that have been hanging around for a while that are now going to either be in Pro 2 or maybe not driving.
So as far as I know, people who moved from Pro 1 down to Pro 2, we have our good friend Nate Hamilton. He's going to run Pro 2.
Lil Ham. He's gonna kill that. That's the thing though too. Is that like these drivers that may have not had the best finish in Pro 1, they're still gonna be awesome in Pro 2.
Right.
Which who's to say what Corey's car is gonna do?
I believe
you'll see me out there having fun.
I believe Brandon Wignick's
Are you gonna leave? Sorry, hold on, Paco. This is a very important question.
My bad.
Go ahead, Sam. What's up? What's on your mind, buddy?
Are you gonna leave your dick on the track?
That's a great question.
So what I want to see is you out there flipping a peace sign.
I'm not going to wear arm restraints, and I'm going to have both my hands out the window.
Oh, I have to cough. I'm going to back away. Paco, continue.
Don't cough. Dun, 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 dun. All right, guys,
Paco,
welcome
what
back,
else we got?
Sam.
So, Brandon Wignick apparently moved down just to Pro 2. He did pretty good on Pro 2 last year, I believe. Dave Briggs moved to Pro 2. I heard they might not run. I think he's gonna do Formula Drift Canada.
I heard he's building a VQ, big horsepower VQ.
He's gonna be like super insane
nice,
VQ. So say Nate Hamilton.
What's up with June Meng? I saw June Meng's
Well,
car
June
was
Meng
for
is
sale.
definitely gonna. Well, his S13 was is for sale still, but yeah, he didn't qualify once. Bummer for that guy.
Yeah,
but,
well, he tried to. I forgot. I totally spaced out that he was driving the Z4, which was a very difficult car, obviously.
There's a couple other things other than a couple of guys going from Pro 1 to Pro 2, and a lot of people think Pro 2 is a negative thing. There's some guys that are like, man, do you know what? I'm not going to run Pro 2 because that's second to Pro 1. And
I know a driver like that.
Well, Corey, you yourself did that. That's 2 years ago or whatever.
Well, no, that wasn't Corey.
No.
Who are you looking at?
I'm all for Pro 2, man. I think
No, but I mean, you definitely felt that way at first, I think. You did, I remember.
Well, maybe, but in hindsight, looking back on
in hindsight, you were stupid.
Well, here's the other thing too: is when I was getting out of it, they didn't even run a single season of Pro 2, so it was all up in the air of what Pro 2 actually is going to be.
What it was going to be.
Nobody had an idea what to expect. But now, in hindsight, looking back at it, I think it's honestly a great platform for these guys. And a lot of people think, well, you don't get the media. Well, listen, you're the freaking driver. You can make your own media. Be at the events, make your goddamn media.
Yeah, and media is definitely catching on to that more and more. And I'm seeing a lot of cool Pro 2 videos. Because, it's like I for the first time this season, 2015 season, was on a team, on Vaughn's team. And I pretty much went from being completely self-funded and spending thousands of dollars out of my own pocket to go to these things to thankfully getting the coveted position. The goal of mine was to be on a driver's team, but I got very lucky from going from 0 to being with one of the biggest dudes. But there's I know a lot of you dudes out there are wanting to shoot media and make just sweet videos, and the best way to do that is just hook up with some Pro 2 drivers. Is that most of them probably don't have the money to pay, but that doesn't freaking matter. Suck it up. Most of those guys are out there on their own dime, just like I was out there on my own dime paying money to just get the footage. So they're such a good stepping stone, which is what Pro 2 is.
And
because
it's exciting to watch. Pro 2,
because
it's so different. It just shuffles drivers, one.
Well, I think it gives a lot of these Pro-Am guys a rude awakening. This is the big leagues now, and you have somebody going out there that was competing in a stock 1J with the turbo on it, making 400 or 500 horsepower, to going out there and running with Alex Hildebrand, who's making probably over 1,000 in a fully built BMW. And I remember my first time running 2012 in Atlanta against Essa. I was like, oh man, we make 700-800 horsepower, and I remember leaving line with him like, what the shit did I just get myself into?
Was that against his BMW?
Yeah, that was his
obviously it's a BMW,
Z4.
But this is Z4
yeah.
with...
but it was still just like, because obviously we missed Long Beach because the car wasn't running still in Long Beach 2012. But so my first time gridding up, you do practice and you do qualifying, which is most of it's solo runs anyways. But I remember my first time, and I still remember it perfectly this day because I'll just
always remember your first time.
Yeah.
What? I was talking about drifting.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking about something else.
I don't.
But no, but I think it was just one of those moments I had where I was like, this is really ridiculous what we are doing
what
right
you're
now.
about to do.
And so I think that's where you see that in Pro too, because a lot of these guys are going back with that Pro-Am mindset, and it's like once you get your doors, your blowers blowing
once
off.
Once you
blow your door off, I think when you have somebody just demolish you that bad, you just kind of look back and be like, we have to change everything.
Yeah.
This is not the same game, boys.
Oh, remember how much just your car? How much it changed from
oh my god, yeah.
From at the beginning to the end, like from going from a supercharged V8 to a
which you were having heat issues.
NA.
Yeah.
I really think it like you say, it's like an eye opener for the people's moving up.
So some of you may not know we were sponsored by K Sport 2012 and 2013, but 2012 was like built in a tiny little shop with me and Dustin and a couple other people, and I'm still blown away to this day how that car passed tech then.
Yeah, because you and Dustin are not necessarily high-end car
mechanics. So anyway, so when we linked up with Forsberg in 2013, Forsberg was like, do you know what? Send me the car. We'll have the MA Motorsports guys go through it. We have 2 months to get it done. So, you give yourself 2 months to kind of rebuild a car that was semi-built, had all the, cage and shit done in it. Forsberg gets the car and he goes, dude, I don't know how this thing's going to be finished at all. he sent me pictures of, like, his hand filled with the wood screws holding the fuel cell, cover on. And,
wow.
It was a monstrosity of a car. But after he finished it, I was like, oh, this is what the car's supposed to feel like. It was night and day difference. It was night and day difference.
Different
I wish there was some way for us to talk to Chris and figure out like exactly what he did to make that drift car a drift car.
I'd be curious to see what he would say.
Maybe
looking back at it in hindsight. Hey, what's that?
Oh, it looks
what
like
do you got?
It's Chris Forceberg.
Oh my God,
what's his name?
Chris.
Hey, hello.
Oh,
hey, Chris.
hello. What's up?
Whoa.
Hey, Chris Forsberg.
welcome to the show.
Hey,
man.
So we've got.
Is this the future or what?
Yeah, this is what. So what happens is there's a bunch of satellites, and they use something called the internet.
we called them for you.
Is this the
Call
internet?
them
No,
in.
this isn't the internet. This is just cell phones. Hey, Chris, you're here with me, Sam, and Paco and Corey, and we're talking
What's up,
about
guys?
we're talking
Hey.
about drifting today.
It was funny, Chris. Actually, we were just talking about you probably 5 seconds ago. You couldn't believe it.
Ah, it's amazing that you called.
That's so wild.
I don't know what it was. Holy
my ears
cow.
were burning a little bit, and so I was like, I'm going to give Sam a call. I think he's talking shit.
Yeah, I would never.
No, come on, Chris.
Definitely him.
So, Chris, what are you doing in the drift world right now? We always see your gram, and you're always hammering away on that Z. It looks like you were you just got the frame back and painted. What's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, and I know Corey knows, that we just love working on cars over here, man.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It's never ending. We're just making up work. We just keep taking these cars all the way apart just to put them back together again. I mean, it's a fun game, and we're pretty successful at finishing the puzzle every off season. So we're giving it another go.
It was funny. Right before you actually gave us a call out of nowhere, we were actually talking about the build process of a competitive Formula Drift car, and actually what we think the big difference between let's say a Pro-Am car versus like a real competitive FD car is. And we actually were talking about the first time you took delivery of the K Sport Z. How was that thing?
It was, it needed a little TLC.
Yeah, can you be honest?
Corey had just said how he had more or less put this car together with Dustin. If that gives you any idea.
And also the picture you texted me of the wood screws covering the fuel cell cover.
No. It wasn't covering the fuel cell cover. I was going to say, so which one of you was it that used the sheet metal screws to hold the fuel cell to the floor?
So that's where the level was at when me and Dustin work on cars.
And because I'm an idiot, why is that dangerous? Because I can catch fire or like what's?
Yeah, something like that. And by sheer coincidence, these sheet metal screws, self-tapping, if you will, managed to work themselves loose. So basically, they're just kind of drop pins in there. Like the hole was kind of oblonged out, and they were more like locating pins more than anything else. So if that thing was ever to get on side or anything, that fuel cell was going right out the hatch.
Well, one thing you really taught me, Chris, was efficiency, and being able to take that fuel cell in and out quickly. So that was one way to speed up the process.
The fuel cell. Like the idea is that you leave it in the car and then you fill that up. You don't need to replace the fuel cell. It's not like an electric car.
I thought that's why it was called a cell.
Well, no, the thing was every time I'd go and compete, I actually wear a handyman's belt, so I'd have a screwdriver, hammer, and everything I would need to work on my car when I drive. So wood screws were pretty common for us as self-tappers.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty easy to come by. Like most contractor boats have them in there, so you can kind of just like reach into your pockets anywhere and just pull out some hardware.
Is that how you guys at MA Motorsport are repioneering for 2016? Is that you're going to be ready to go on the ground to repair your car with a toolkit, a tool belt?
Yeah, I mean we're considering stepping up to some Lee's carpenter jeans. Got a little hammer loop and everything, so we can just shove that cell right back into place.
Well, so the other thing we were talking about is the big difference, and what I was saying was from the first time I've ever drove the K Sport Z to after you guys were spending 90 hours a week on that thing to first time driving it in Long Beach, it was a completely different car. Give some people an example of actually everything you have changed on that car when you got it from the first time until now.
And to kind of add to that, Chris, you guys, I think, are kind of one of the teams that have pioneered the professionalism and fully stripping a car every season and starting from a new spot, which I think a lot of drivers are now doing. But only a few short years ago, I think that was a lot less common to go back down to the bare frame and start over. So to answer, so for the question, why, Chris?
Why? Well, because just like anything else, wear and tear, it gets through and kind of tears cars apart. It's taking the car all the way down to the chassis.
Hold on, Chris. We got a pug. Yep. We got a pug yelling.
Wild animal.
All right, pug breaks over.
Yeah. It forces you to basically look through every aspect of the car and find anything that's loose, cracking, damaged, wiring that's split, anything that will cause potential failure. So when you are literally taking every component off of the car, cleaning the chassis, repainting it, and then slowly putting it all back together again, you're just kind of, like I said, forcing yourself to visually and handle each part and inspect it, and so you just prevent failure. And that's the biggest thing with FD, being that it's only 7 rounds.
Yeah.
We need these cars to be 100% each time, and so the reason why you will see like a Pro-Am car or just a car that's less prepared break down at the track is because it's just kind of the drive it till something happens situation. Because and that's only because these kids that are coming in don't have the time or resources to be able to do such a build or such repairs. So,
but I think one of the things that a lot of people don't understand as well is that you are at MA every day doing this yourself, and of course you've got help from all the talented people there like Brian.
Oh yeah.
But you are hands-on, 10, 12, 15-hour days as the season approaches on this car, making it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I find true joy in working on cars.
That's just weird.
And that is the truth.
That's terrible.
That is the absolute truth.
And if you want to get into drifting, you better fucking like working on cars, because that is all you're going to do, because here's 2-time champion Chris that is always just working on cars still.
Chris, I have a question. Do you remember back when you started in Formula Drift, what kind of horsepower you had on your first car?
First car in FD was 400 wheel horsepower, so it was actually a pretty stout little thing. My 350Z with the SR20 back in 2004, and yeah, same thing. Like I built that car myself, Tony Angelo, and a couple other people here and there, just kind of lending a hand as the time got close. But I've been helping build or building my own FD cars since day one, and it's always the way it's been. And so we've always had pretty good amount of power. It's only been the past 5 or 6 years where that number went from an average of 500 to 800.
We were just talking about the power war, of course. We're going over the broad things in FD that have gone on lately. Real quick follow-up question, Chris. 2009 Long Beach podium. Who was it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
2009 Long Beach podium was Haraguchi 1, and freaking A, who else was up there? I can tell you Haraguchi won. Tanner Faust, I'm pretty sure he was either second or third. I know that. Yeah. So that's 2 out of 3. That's not bad.
Yeah. So
2013 New Jersey podium.
2013 New Jersey was. Hang on, I got this. Give me a second.
And Chris isn't on the internet. What we're doing here is a fun game that Corey and I learned in the bus with Chris driving to Texas one year. Is that Chris has some savantism like the Rain Man, and he can name, and he's failing right now, unfortunately.
He's the Wikipedia of drift facts.
So you ask Chris Forsberg, and I hope fans come up to you throughout the season now and quiz you.
You are locked in.
Yeah, and the autograph line is if you say Chris 2007 Irwindale podium, you got that one.
2007 Irwindale podium was let's see.
I wish
Tanner won. I was second. And who was third? Daijiro? No, Dai was not third. Yeah, Dai was third.
There you go.
And for you people listening, you could literally go look at these facts, and I guarantee
they're going to be right.
I can guarantee that.
Leave it on the comments.
So what can we expect? Any changes to the 2016 car that you can talk about? I mean, obviously you don't want to change too much. That's working very well for you, obviously. What's different?
Yeah, I mean, the same old spiel, like lighter, better, faster, more power. But
when do you think people are going to start going heavier for fun? Is that a tactic? Do you want to throw the competition off? That maybe you're going to get slower this year?
Yeah, heavy's a good factor nowadays.
I know, right? A couple people went heavier because all their cars were way too stupid light, and they were trying to run 295, so they had to add like 300 pounds.
Yeah, I was totally joking about that, but that is a real consideration. Is because you do have to run, or I should say, you get the option to run wider tires if you're heavier, or you
option being the keyword. Yes.
Yeah. So what are you doing?
Okay. What am I doing?
Yeah, that's the scoop.
What are you doing right now? Are you wearing pants? Did we decide this? We were going to make this a video call.
I am wearing pants. I know.
Right. Sam's wearing pajamas.
Considering, and then, once I heard that Skype wasn't not involved, I was like, well, might as well just put pants on anyway.
I almost
Northeast, dude. It's kind of cold out here. I mean, we got heat and all, but still.
Yeah.
Which, that's a good question because we're about to shoot Drift Garage Season 3. What's the weather like? Is it going to be cold as shit like always?
Not nearly as bad as last year.
Oh, so that's wonderful.
It's been, it's been quite nice actually. It's been a nice moderate 40s.
Forecast for the day brought to you by CHRIS FORSBERG.
And I heard that
Motorsports.
that Brian at MA installed heated floors finally.
Yes.
We have
heat running in the shop. It is above freezing in there.
That's not bad. If you think about it, it's really not that bad.
Yeah, see?
It could be worse.
Yeah, wow.
What do you guys have any?
I have a question.
Well, I think
Paco has
I have a question.
Paco has a question. Corey has a statement.
This is our friend Paco, Chris. You know Paco very well.
Paco's going to ask a question. Corey's going to make a statement, and
I am like the only serious person here.
Come on, Paco, bring it on.
No, serious. Kidding. Just an average. You don't have to say like an exact number, but how
many times have you cheated?
How many times have I cheated?
That was Sam.
Yeah.
I always had like that question, like how much does it run to own a rig? How much does it cost to own a rig like yours a month?
Well, the hot tub, refilling the hot tub alone, takes gallons of water and champagne.
The helicopter landing pad on the roof.
Well, champagne Sundays, whichever. If you guys don't know this about Chris, after each event, he fills his hot tub full of champagne.
Yeah,
and that can't be cheap.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I mean, where do you think the bubbles come from?
Right.
I thought it came from your buns. But that's a good Paco. Will you please answer Paco question and stop?
Yeah, stop interrupting.
Sorry.
Sam.
To be honest, I didn't understand the question.
He does. He's hard to understand.
Paco, say it in Spanish.
Somebody please translate.
So I think you uniquely as well. You own your truck.
Do you have a mortgage on your trailer?
You drive your truck around the country. And I think that's kind of a unique thing that you are typically. You own your truck, you drive your truck, you sleep in that thing, you spend your life in that thing with your wife Mitch and your dog sometimes.
Yep.
I mean, that cost is something, I guess.
And what does it take to operate?
What does it take to own
what class is your driver's license,
rig like
Chris?
that? Is it like, do you have to get like a CDL to drive it?
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to...
It's, No, it's registered as an RV, so it's
that's right, because you don't have a ton of wheels. That's right. It's registered as an RV, so you don't need a commercial. Well,
thanks Chris Forsberg, Sam.
Oh
Nalven.
yeah,
you just answered
Chris
No, I was trying to figure out why. Well, Forsberg, do you want to answer this one?
What was that? You guys are super hyper, man. I can't even hear what you're saying.
Well, what I was trying to say is that your truck has fewer wheels than it should. So why don't you put some more wheels on that thing?
I know.
Get on the road.
Tired of changing tires on that thing, man.
Considered a truck driver.
Have you ever accidentally drifted the rig on the road when it was icy? Have you ever had an oh shit moment and almost lost your entire program, like on the side of Texas or running through some mountain passes? Kind of like the movie. What's that movie? Over the Top. Are you
Over the Top? I mean, I do have a curling machine just mounted permanently into the RV section, so could just kind of keep pumping reps all the way down the highway. What else are you gonna do up there? But yeah, we've had a couple close calls. Like just people kind of cutting you off. We had a sweet K5 Blazer lose a rear wheel and went like bouncing into our rig, and their trailer ran into the side of mine.
Those K5 Blazers, man, they're kind of weird, no?
Dude, it was wild.
Is this recent? Is this recent damage? Or is this old school stuff?
That was like 3 years ago, and it was actually right by your guys' house.
Oh, yeah. Perfect. Well, you're surprised.
Welcome to Arizona, boy.
Yeah, so you want to sit here and make fun of him? He was your neighbor driving through Phoenix.
Damn right, you got us, our neighbor.
To say, we're very proud of our Phoenix State, Phoenix City.
He was towing a lowrider.
Did the lowrider? Is that what hit your truck? I mean, if you could be hit.
Well, the trailer did, but yes, there was a lowrider on it.
So you're trying to say the guy driving was Mexican?
May or may not have been.
It was you say he was he's throwing a lowrider.
Hey Paco, you guys don't own the lowrider business, or maybe your family does own the lowrider business.
How do you
actually?
know? Yeah.
But I'm just saying that you're people.
Yeah.
So to kind of reel everything back in, Chris, as we win this mixing pot of 30,000 questions, Sam originally started with, what's some big things to expect for 2016? I know you're obviously changing your program up a little bit, but is there any any major vehicle changes other than making it lighter and faster? Like, what's something we can expect in 2016?
I mean, it's all pretty similar formula. We're happy with the car and everything else, and so. Long story short, minimal changes, just like a good refresh, and I'm building, spending the time to build that turbo car kind of replica, so to speak, and doing some fun projects, demos, and whatever with that car. So, pumped on that thing.
So we also have learned through the power of the internet that you have a new team driver, Mr. Jeff Stonebeck, and the question with that is, why is he a better option than Corey Hosford?
What happened, Chris? What did I do, man? What happened? Throw me under the big wheel. I'm going to find that K5 Blazer, but.
So why do you think Jeff Stonebeck is better looking and a better candidate for both marriage, friendship, and driving than Corey is?
Well, he's shorter.
True.
He has more hair.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact.
He's more well spoken.
True.
And
he just
represents. And he's from the Northeast, so sorry, man.
Yeah, so
he represents himself.
You've been ripping with Jeff around the E-Town track for some years now. What inspired you this year to say, "Come, young one, come Padawan, let me put you under my wing and teach you the ways"?
Yeah, no, Jeff's awesome. We've been friends and hanging out for a while and drive together at Club Blues all the time, and he totally rips, and he was asking me a bunch of questions about, how to upgrade his program. He wanted to get into a newer chassis, and we were just, banging around the idea of, trying to help him out and getting him into, one of our cars. And so it's, I think it's a good fit for him. He's, super pumped on it. He's obviously a very talented driver. He drove a similar chassis, so to speak, a big nitrous V8 car, so it was an easy transition for him.
Is he going to be running nitrous in that one this year?
Yeah, we're adding nitrous to that car,
nice.
so it'll be a wild animal for sure.
What this is kind of funny because Corey's doing the reverse now, going from Z to an S14. What driving differences are you going to feel? Is he going to feel having a similar motor setup, going from like an S14 up into the 350Z?
Well, I mean, our car, it's a smaller V than what he had, but we run a lot more nitrous, and we rev it a lot higher, so it definitely makes more power, and, obviously it's all in the chassis. The drivetrain is important, and it's, it's powerful, and it's,
Still going to be running a BK?
Everything else, but yeah, he'll be running the VK. He'll be running our exact setup as last year, but with a better chassis than we had last year.
Oh, wow. What
awesome.
What have you improved it just by stiffening or weight reduction or all the above?
Basically all the above.
Nice.
Like we're saying, like every off season we just find like a couple more pounds to shed and trying to keep the weight as close to that minimal number as possible.
For you kids at home, these are called speed holes. What you want to do is you want to take a drill and just drill holes in all of your structural
Everywhere.
components.
Yep.
Just every hole you drill, it saves a couple pounds at least.
Easy.
Sam, I'd appreciate if you didn't tell him our secrets, dude.
Why does Chris's car look like a Swiss cheese block?
What you want to do is everyone knows that
no, that's Daigo's car.
Chris, what do you think is gonna be the limit? Where's a whole horsepower gonna end? Like, where is it gonna stop racing? I noticed like last time Daigo brought 1,200 horses, and then now this time he brought only 1,000, something like that. You think like that's it? That's gonna be the limit, or
where do we go from here, Chris?
1,000, any more than 1,000 is just bragging rights. You don't need that much. The cars that are making like 850, to the wheels, I mean, that's all you really need. Right. I mean, that's essentially, what we're making. We're 1,000 at the crank, and that's pretty much what, all the top cars are, around like 1,000 at the crank. And beyond that, you're just making extra heat and just kind of wasting your tires.
I was going to say, we brought up earlier about the whole tire thing, is that I think now, especially with the higher power, you guys are running into the issue of, if you're not keeping it dialed back, you can run out of tires before your second run is done.
Yeah.
And
we literally will run out of tires after 2 laps. And especially on certain tracks, we will, in qualifying, since we're, really, pouring on the heat, we will burn through a brand new set of tires in 1 lap. And it's absolutely retarded.
Really?
That's how far these cars have come. But we will take a brand new set down to the cores. And when we warm our tires up nowadays, I literally will roll to the line, do a couple of quick figure eights, real light throttle just to hit the mold release off them and pull up to the line. We don't put any real heat into them like we used to, because we need every piece of tread that we can get.
That's crazy to know that you guys are driving, that you have the ability, and the ability to restrain while you're driving in battles, but the fact that you burn up an entire set during the qualifying round, that you put down that much more power and smoke versus a battle, so to say, where you have to consciously dial it back to have enough tire for another run. You're destroying these tires in one set. And I've definitely noticed that too, is that a lot of the guys are putting out more and crazier smoke in their qualifying than they are in battle lead runs, so to say. But that's
that's a part of it. You're trying to make an impression, obviously, and so, but when it comes to tandem, you got to make sure you got tire for both runs. But I mean, with all that being said, the amount of smoke these cars generate is ridiculous. I mean, you literally cannot see in a tandem chase for, I'd say, 30 to 40% of any given track.
Yeah, that was shocking to see the first time I stuck a GoPro on one of your guys' cars. I saw helmet cam looking forward, just how much of the time you can't see.
Oh yeah.
That's our most commonly asked question is how do you guys see? We just freaking don't. It sucks.
Which you hear people saying oh, look at Irwindale, for example, during the kink, it's that is so bad at driving, you got lost.
Oh, he straightened up. What a shithead.
Yeah, what a fucking piece of garbage.
I know.
But then you see,
and I love seeing that too, because in videos after event videos, you see people constantly straightening out in the chase position. Oh man, that dude can't even hang. It's A, all this video is taken in practice, and B, they're straightening out because they can't see and they don't want to die.
Yeah, I remember.
It's save the car, not the run. Fuck this, I'm going back to the start.
I envisioned myself in a 747 flying through clouds, actually.
You go to your happy place.
Yeah, I go into a moment of zen and just manning this beast of a jet, just flying through.
Well, the first time I ever drove tandem was with Corey, and I was driving behind him, and I was thinking oh man, I am so close to him. I'm gonna hit him if I'm not careful. We are door to door, guys. And then I looked at the footage, and I'm like, fucking like 10 car lengths back. So like that's the thing though too, is like it's you like you physically, obviously when you're doing titanium, like you don't even see the guy's like wheels, like you're that close to him, I imagine. You're just like reaching out for high fives and what have you, or middle fingers or whatever you do.
Yeah, and it becomes exponentially more difficult the closer you get, because now you can't see anything but like the roof line of the car, so you can't make any like real good.
You can't see their tires.
Yeah, you can't adjust off of them, but like the whole idea is, especially now, is to stay ahead of the smoke curve, which is why you have to drive close, or else you just fall in the cloud, and that's it.
So when you're driving, this is kind of a fun thing I've never thought about before, is that when you're driving so close, you actually miss some of that smoke because you are right next to them? Like you're not getting the thick of the cloud when you're right up on them?
You get ahead of it, yeah. So you gain visibility, but then it also gains a lot of difficulty, like I was saying, because the closer you get,
it's a good compromise.
Obviously, the harder it is.
It
is, like you can see exactly when you're going to hit the guy. So it's great.
Like that time with D-Mac when he opened your car up.
Yeah, the can opener.
The
old
famous one. Like, oh hey.
Which of those that did not see, that was at New Jersey, right?
Yep.
And D-Mac was riding behind you and just came up and booped you right in the passenger door and ripped the whole thing off.
Gave him my Lambo door.
Yep.
That was
I know, it's pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it got ripped off until the other half.
Yeah, then you're just
jeez, it's getting chilly in here.
Yeah.
Oh god.
What has been
draft?
what has been like your biggest hit? Not necessarily on Formula Drift, just like on overall driving
musically.
career.
What's your number one hit?
Number one hit.
Yeah. What's the biggest hit from Chris and the Forsbergs?
Classic Rock Artillery
there you go.
album.
Now, it's been like your biggest crash, like the one that like the worst, like in your opinion.
2006 Irwindale, for sure.
What went down?
Take us through.
It was the 350, the convertible. It was only like 4 events deep. Still didn't work for shit. Like we started off the weekend great with a practice run in front of this guy named Ryan Turk. You might have heard of him.
I've seen him. I've seen him on the Googles before.
Yeah, he's up there. And I'm leading, and we're going into the bank. I kick the clutch. The car does a 180, and I go into the bank backwards, like slam like the driver's side along the wall. And Turk, being behind me, is slamming his front end into my front end around the wall. It's amazing.
Nice.
And I take total responsibility for it. And so we spend like the whole night, the both of us are like fixing our cars like independently. We come back. I mean, we both qualify the next day and yada yada yada. But then like I get into like top 16 or top 8. And I kicked the clutch into the bank, and my right rear axle broke, and it was like end of the year. I'm already pissed. The car totally sucks. It was like my worst year ever. I already wrecked the car once, so I'm just laying in the throttle trying to make this thing work. Doesn't, hooks straight and does fucking nosedive straight into the bank wall.
Well, the thing to think about for a lot of these guys is in 2006 the rules were you can wear a kamikaze helmet, a lap belt, and like no Hans device. Like the rules of obviously it was a full kamikaze fight in 2006.
Yeah, you could be driving an automatic pickup truck.
Or an El Camino.
Yeah.
And your speed
anything you wanted.
Your speed has obviously increased since then too. Like I know it's not the fastest initiation at Irwindale, but I imagine you were probably not going nearly as fast as you do nowadays.
I mean,
so what I'm saying is you're being a big wiener for only hitting the wall at 55.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't going
the
like
airbags deployed. I got totally lost in it.
Yeah, you were still running airbags and stock interior at that time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Call your insurance after.
My column collapsed. Everything was fine.
And you street drove the car across the country to get there too. So that was a big bummer having to street drive that thing back home.
Triple A came on.
I had to take the license plate off, so the photographers weren't get my plate, and I didn't want to run into any issues afterwards.
What I found the tip is when you blow up your car at the track is you want to call AAA, and then they can drive you home.
I usually take photos of the car so I can send it to insurance to let them know that.
Well, you tow it out to like the side of the highway and be like, yeah, some guy just drove up to me and hit my front end with a wall.
Yeah, I tell the insurance.
Ran into the Jersey barrier.
we're gonna wrap up here in a minute, Chris, because we're all sick of hearing your bullshit.
Sure.
Sure. That was rude of me. I'm sorry.
Come
Chris.
on, Samuel.
So thanks for. So this is if you followed the silly stuff I've done. Chris was my first driver on Driver. He's one of the first dudes I talked to for the show before that, Drift Chronicles, and now he's here for our first little podcast because Chris is such a nice guy.
Well, that's the thing is like
he's one of the granddaddies of this sport,
Yep.
and like I mentioned, you weren't here, Chris, but I said that anytime you want to talk to Chris, everyone email Chris.
Facebook, on Twitter. Ask him how to get sponsored.
His phone number.
We're gonna post his address.
His social security number is 60. No, but you've been there from the start. You've helped people along the road constantly. Thanks for your service.
He runs super
Yeah,
good.
no, honestly, yeah, Chris is one of the dudes who obviously is one of the biggest supporters of the sport that is active in the sport. And
Being all over
it was funny because
being all over the world.
you know, because
Yeah.
even like
Thanks, guys.
I told Chris. Well, it's funny because my first actually pro drift event I spectated was at it was actually in Texas at the Reliance Center, and that was what year was that, Chris? 2003, 2004, 2004. So actually, that was the first time I actually saw drifting, and I remember seeing Chris and the Drift Alliances. I was like, dude, those dudes are pretty gnarly. So when I first got into drifting, 2011, I posted a video of me driving the K Sport S13. And then I saw, Chris Forsberg comment on my video. I'm like, what the shit does he have to say? And he goes, it looks like the car's set up too loose. And I was like, thanks, Chris. Thanks, you dick. No, but it was, it's one of those things, man. It's like the nice thing about being in competitive drifting, especially guys, in the pro levels, I think it's the only sport where we can actually reach the drivers. You look at NASCAR drivers. Yeah. I don't think Jeff Gordon's responding to Facebook messages.
They're rock stars already.
That definitely surprised me about my first drift event was the open pit setup, and that of course you don't want to talk to the drivers when they're in the middle of competition and getting set up in between qualifying and competition, all that, but. After the show or before the show, like people can pretty much just walk right up and say, "Hey," and you can tell them how their car's messed up. Tell them
your car's terrible. Pack it up.
So here's the thing.
Yeah,
kid.
they can bring machetes over.
They can bring machetes.
Before Chris goes, I got a question actually.
Okay.
So, all right, Chris, rumor mill stuff. What tire manufacturers? What are you running for tires? What's some changes? Sponsor change? Is there anything you're doing that you can talk about?
No.
Man, you're just really digging.
Hey, do you know what?
Do you know anyone?
I talk to you once every year.
Well,
this is a great opportunity.
It's
just four of us. No.
Hold secrets?
Yeah,
Chris, do you know any tire sponsors that are looking for guys
Does NOS need another driver? Let's get to the chase.
Let's just say that there's a guy that's maybe looking for sponsors. He's the shape of a hot dog. He
has peppered hair.
He's got no, not me. I'm talking about you.
You're not looking for fucking driver?
I'm talking
Sam, shut the fuck up.
I'm saying you trying to tire sponsors.
Okay, go back to the sausage-looking guy. Go ahead.
Chris, what secrets can you reveal what juicy news bombs can you drop on us?
Force.
Give us the headline.
We're counting on you.
Give us the headline.
Oh man, I don't have much, dude.
What a fucking letdown.
Thanks for nothing, Chris. Good night.
Yeah.
What a fucking letdown. Sorry, guys.
So what are you doing now? So you're gonna go back into MA tomorrow, I imagine, and you're going to what are you doing tomorrow?
Probably do some more work on the turbo chassis, and also just prepping for Drift Garage. We have just a lot of trying to gather parts, trying to get plan, get set up, and just waiting for your glorious faces grace our presence.
Dude, I got a great idea for Drift Garage.
Turn on the microphones before you interview Chris. Is that the idea?
Wait. So
inside joke.
Yeah, because
last year, don't get it.
Last year for Drift Garage, after our third or fourth 15-hour day with no sleep and cars that weren't coming together exactly as we had hoped for at that moment, we shot only like 35 to 45 minutes of footage without the mics turned on or not turned on.
Yeah,
someone that is me. Didn't have the mic plugged into his camera.
That could have been like the comeback of silent cinema.
That was literally the worst moment of my life, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. I have.
We were all pretty tired at that point,
and I thought that I would never.
So we got to redo all of that.
Okay, take everything you said, remember it.
Yeah,
and we're gonna start.
The second time it was a lot better because we cut the crap out. They're very fast. But what was going through my head was I thought that they would never talk to me again.
You're just like, this is the worst day of my life.
It was the absolute
here.
worst. But we did it all again, and nice guy Chris Forsberg over here was more than happy to do it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What a
What a
player.
Such commitment.
And
What a
after
team
only
player.
8 months of therapy, we're able to do it again.
Here we are, 2016 Drift Garage 3. It's going to be the
Running
best week.
strong.
I don't think we
what
can say
channel is that
anything.
going to be on?
It's going to be on CNN
Dateline?
and MSNBC.
That's
To Catch a Predator, you've heard of
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Chris,
Telemundo.
this is Chris Hansen.
Please have a seat.
I don't think we're allowed to talk about what kind of cars we're doing, but you'll see. It's going to be rad.
Super stoked.
It's going to be.
Well, I was going to say before Chris gets off the phone, if you guys really want to use a car, I have a blue S14 you guys can finish on Drift Garage.
For free.
Yeah,
That-
I heard about that.
Yeah, so you guys can get on that. I'll ship it out with Sam on the airplane or something.
Would you recommend Sam to keep pursuing the SR20 or should we go the KA?
Chris
Way.
runs.
Yeah, like I somehow found some sort of unicorn KA that I cannot destroy.
Yeah,
It is the longest running engine I have ever had, and I am not afraid to say that because if it blows up tomorrow, it is still the greatest engine I've ever had.
Yeah, so Chris's car, his missile, it's not really a missile anymore, his
a beautified
practice car
missile.
is a KAT S13, and his KA rips. And I run an SR, which I recently blew up, and I wish I would have maybe kept my KA and turboed it, but I didn't have the knowledge. Long story short, Chris also put me behind the wheel of his car. He let me drive it after shooting.
You're like, man, Forsberg fucking sucks those last 4 runs. What happened?
Oh, so that's what really happens with the body kit, Sam?
That's okay. It was a close set.
It was after like 2 days of filming, and I was so terrified.
Forsberg looks like a young female out there ripping around. What is going on?
I was just picturing like Tokyo Drift ruining Mona Lisa because like I halfway initiated like with the e-brake because like this was like a beautiful moment in my life that could have been the best, and I pictured a success, and like I hot dogged it when I should have cheeseburgered.
No.
I have the video still. I just was trying to think of a way to put it out that wasn't just completely depressing. It didn't work out.
That's the point. I mean, your name after all this drifting.
On that high note, good night.
All right, we're wrapping this up.
Well, thank you for your time, Chris. We cannot wait to see your completely unchanged car.
Yeah,
you
thanks.
Boring.
Is there at least a livery change? Are you changing the design of the?
That's a good question. I missed
there
the
will
Phantom
be
car.
yes, there will be a livery change.
Oh.
And yeah, we're gonna update the a bit too. We're doing some cool stuff on it.
That you can't tell anyone about. Cool.
Yeah, don't.
Thanks a lot.
Well, it's gonna be similar to the Black Friday livery, which is like a very nice, cool retro.
No,
Paco, he's like, that was just a terrible suggestion.
If it was that he's writing it
it's
down,
a question.
he would do it.
Hey, Chris. So a lot of people knows you have that old Datsun 20Z with a was it an RB26 on it?
RB25.
RB25. There you go. So
yeah. Back it down, buddy.
Yeah. So my bad. I went 1 point over. So what's going on with that car? What's anything exciting happening?
It's chilling right now. You know, it's winter. I don't want to get it out in the nasty weather, but we got a couple plans for that car. After Drift Garage, we're doing like another build-up show with UTI, and we're going to be doing some upgrades on the Datsun actually. So I'll be doing a full suspension swap with the Technotoy tuning setup, so it'll actually be adjustable and driftable now because I don't think you guys were there.
I saw the B-roll of some footage of that thing struggling a bit.
Yeah, when we shot that clear-out video, Andy was scared for his life, and as was I.
Because you just had huge body roll, and the car is just not set up to drift, obviously.
Yeah, those cars are difficult to drive from the factory. There's zero adjustment, so you're just taking what you get. So we're doing full suspension upgrade, wheelwood brakes, and we're going to be doing like a full new like interior and exterior with carbon signal. So that car is going to be pretty freaking nuts, and I'm psyched on it. Yeah.
Hell yeah! Anyone else you want to holla at or
other
plugs?
projects or?
Yeah, well, I mean, just our plans with Drift Garage are still yet to be, said. But other than that, the program is all still good. We're signed back up with NOS Energy Drink and kind of revamping the brand. We're getting a lot of push behind it this year. So all that's looking really good. We got a lot of plans, a lot of projects in the works, and I'm sure Sam might be tagging along for some of those. We'll see. Yeah, just maybe if he keeps his head on straight.
If I can not,
just remind him.
Come on, Samuel.
Plugged in.
We'll let you guys take off. Paco and I will just hang back. Yeah, you go ahead, guys.
If I can,
the dream team's back.
If I can keep my insults to Chris down in the remaining minute of the podcast interview, then we'll see.
Okay.
And if I can remember to plug in
out.
the mic, but next time we'll find out if the mic was plugged in this whole time. Thanks, Chris.
All right, Chris.
We'll see you on the
Thank
internet.
you, Chris.
All right, guys. See ya.
We'll see you.
Hey,
soon,
have a good
man.
one. Bye. Hey.
Man.
God, I hate that guy.
Jesus.
He is man.
He
He is
is-
such an ass over
He
the phone. I didn't expect
is
that.
the worst.
He's such a microphone abuser. He just wants to talk just all about
Jeez.
all his stuff.
And then he'd talk about NOS and talk about his
Yeah,
sponsors.
we're like,
and then,
Chris, good night. We don't want to hear any more things about your sponsors. And he's like, oh, no, it's energy drink. That's all I drink. I don't even eat anymore.
I eat it with my cereal. I pour it in instead of milk. I use NOS.
I don't even eat food anymore. It's disgusting, really. And drink NOS, kids. You heard it from Chris, kids. Don't eat food anymore. Just drink NOS energy drink. It's
healthy.
fine. It's fine
Good
for your
stuff
health.
Yeah.
Good luck,
I wasn't
Chris. Hope
expecting
you don't get sued. I hope we don't get sued. Sorry, Chris.
Kids, don't eat NOS 24/7. Don't do it.
Hey, thanks so much for listening and or watching the first drifting podcast
Before we
with
go,
the three of us. What do you have to say, Paco?
Yeah, before we go, anything, you guys want to give an update of what's going on?
I'd like to
That it gotta
plug
be-
my car still being broken.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, hey, Sam, so tell us about your car.
It's broken.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Okay, what can you tell us about it?
Broken. We're gonna figure that out.
You're going to figure
It's
that
a
out.
sensitive
It's a
subject
work
at
in
this
progress.
point.
It's a work in progress. As Chris was saying, I'm about to leave for Drift Garage.
When do you leave for that, anyways?
End of January, we're gonna start that drifting garage. And I don't know if you guys know this because I was about to make a really bad joke. Like, do you see the camera shaking? Because I'm shivering. It is cold as butt.
I've been
in
pretty
Maryland.
lucky when I went out to Maryland.
butt.
I've avoided all the cold seasons, but yeah, you see the dudes in the shop just bundled up. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
these are fucking Eskimo mechanics.
Yeah,
right
after
there.
they are, it's insane. And I guess they'll have the heat on this year, which is something we didn't have one of those years. I don't know, but yeah, I wear snowboard jacket, a smaller jacket, long sleeve shirt, and then an Under Armour fleece thing.
Wow,
And
Sam.
it's
That
it's
is
the same. It's the
incredible.
same with the weather update in Maryland.
Yeah, thanks. Back to the forecast.
Forecast. That's what we got from. Wow, I blew it.
Oh, you tried to throw a zinger out there and airballed
So
it.
that's what I'm doing coming up here. What do you?
What can we expect from your car? What
I'm
you
gonna.
do?
The idea is that I'm gonna do a little bit of a rebuild show. Just quick little things that are not going to be like a day X video because there's not going to be any driving in them, but it's just going to be some silliness.
That's weird.
Probably not actually real information going out there. I'm just going to fuck around.
I know a lot of people were saying if you're ever going to go LS.
I've thought a lot, long and hard about JZ versus LS, and
Either or.
I would love either.
High power.
Both obviously have their up and downs, but that conversation is for another day, boys.
Perfect.
I agree with that.
What do you
So
got?
what about Corey? Corey, what do you have? What's going on in the future for you? Riding motorcycles.
I
That's
think
right.
he's about no idea.
Oh God.
What can you tell us? I mean,
don't know, man.
I'm looking.
Well, I do know, but it's just this.
I'm looking at the lineup for the Formula D Pro 2. All the
Is there
people
a
that
list out
signed
for
up.
that?
Yeah.
Is there? Let me see that.
Yeah.
Where's
Look
that
at
posted at?
it on FormulaDrift.com.
Wow, I have no
Which
idea.
one of those motherfuckers are you gonna take out
Let me
first?
see. I'm gonna fucking start from the top, dude.
Start
Come
reading
on. Let me see. There's
look
1,
at those
2, 3,
names
4,
right there.
5, 6. Alex Yu, Andrew Lewis, Brendan Patterson, Brandon Wicknick, Brian Peter, Chris Ward,
Spike Chen's driving Pro 2.
some Yahoo,
Nice.
Cody the Horse Hosworth.
The Horse.
Oh my God.
Oh man, that's a much better nickname than
Crick
Corey.
Felipe, Dan Burkett, Dave Briggs. Man, there's definitely a lot of familiar contenders.
Yeah.
June Mang's on there, Kelsey Rawling, Kenji Yamanaka all the way from Japan, Nate Hamilton, Ryan Literal, Spike Chen, Tommy Van Cleef. These are dudes who've been in the game for a really long time, man. I think the Pro 2 class is going to be a solid class this year. And,
Yeah, so-
that's one thing I'm going to go after. Once this car's done, man,
Do you think you're gonna try to win this year?
oh man, what is winning?
Having tiger blood.
Yeah, I'm just going to go out there, have more fun than anybody else. If we make it to the top, we're going to get to the top. But do you know what?
Thanks, Vaughn.
At the end of the day,
Thanks, Vaughn.
what's that?
Fun haver. It's gonna have.
No,
fun.
I'm not saying I'm a fucking.
So you're not gonna have fun?
No, I'm gonna have a great fucking time. But do you know what it's like, dude? you've seen this more than anybody, and I've seen this too. It's like, who was I talking to? I can't remember what driver I was talking to, but they're like, man, I dedicate everything to get one damn carbon trophy and put it. I'm like,
that sounds just like
that.
Accent was Daigo Saito.
That was Daigo Saito. He's like,
God
I'm gonna
damn
get
it.
me one damn carbon. Daigo, shut up for one goddamn second, okay? No, but for me, it's like if I go out there, I put on a show for everybody, and I do well. I do well. If I go out there, drive my ass off, and put on a show, great. I just want to go out there and have a good fucking time. I want to have you guys around. I want to. Do you know what? That's one of the biggest things I miss. I miss just being around it.
I miss your smell.
I miss hand cook.
Yeah, we definitely
miss hold hands.
I went like in 2012. I went half the season without washing my suit. For some reason, it was like, is it good luck or is it bad luck to wash the suit?
We knew about that.
But do you know what? I'm gonna go out there. I'll fucking rip that thing.
We definitely want to see.
What else am I gonna do?
What else are you gonna do?
I'd
say if you want my candid advice,
go ahead, Sam. Tell me.
Fucking rip it.
I want to fucking rip it. So
rip
hard.
it, Paco. How are you gonna be ripping?
What are you gonna rip, Paco?
We're about to finish. Finally, we're about to finish the 4-seater Lexus LS400 we've been putting together for a couple of years already. We just got some sweet MRR 20-inch dish wheels. It's gotta be like super pimp. For a lot of people to know, we're building a 4-seater drift car.
Wow.
It's on the
Have you seen one of those before, Sam?
No, I think you should call it. What color is it going to be?
White.
Probably
you should call it
La Flama Blanca.
Los Flamos Blanca.
No, actually, this is gonna be completely the opposite. It's the idea is
opposite
gonna
of what, Paco? I don't get it.
What it's gonna have 0 seats.
You're gonna be sitting on trailer hitches.
It's gonna be black. It's gonna be like a mix between an executive car, like a presidential car, and a Yakuza.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what would you name it? What would you name a car? See,
El Gato Negro.
El Gato Negro.
That was what was it? Hey, what was our gang called in Mexico?
Yeah, they said we
Los Gatos Blancos.
Los Gatos Blancos was our gang name.
The White Cats.
Yeah, I remember that. And I think I'm probably gonna turbo the van sometime pretty soon.
That does not sound like a lot of work at all.
No, dude, it'll be easy.
It's gonna seriously. It's just gonna be a manifold. Just make a manifold.
Oh, it's
slap on a cheap ass eBay turbo,
and it'll work forever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, dude, like that engine has got over 330,000 miles.
Yeah, let's turbo it. That seems like a great. Nothing
let's
that'll
fucking
happen
put 10 pounds of boost in that bastard and see what happens.
I mean, honestly, I think if I can just make 5 to 8 pounds of boost in that thing, it'll be more than enough to
make another
300,000
miles. No big deal.
Yeah, fuck it.
I want to watch you slay the dragon. I want to see you tame this beast.
Well, he's gonna have to slay a lot of dragons to find his
But
princess.
the thing is you have to have some sort of costume to wear when you operate that thing. You need to get it. Okay, hold on. Let's back it up a little bit. You have the best seatbelts.
What's up with the seatbelts?
Tell us. Let's hear.
My seatbelts are pretty much Pampers sent them to me.
Where did you find those belts?
It's a diaper, pretty much. It's I traded those seatbelts.
Wait, so it's like a diaper?
Have you not seen them?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Oh my god.
My harness, it literally has like a gigantic like a pedo, pretty much.
The Macarena.
Yeah, there you go. But then it also has like a gigantic pad on the front. It looks like a big ass diaper.
Oh, I can't wait to be.
And it is, but it is so comfortable.
It is
it sucks to put it on. It literally have to take everything out of the way. You can't if once you're in, you that's it. Everything got stuck underneath you. But once you do all that and put it on, it's actually super comfortable.
Oh, it looks super comfortable. I've never seen a seatbelt with 12 pads around your crotch on it. Yeah, here Paco goes, hey, do you want to jump in? I'm like, sure. I hop in. I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at? Where does the belt start and where does it end?
And it's all black, so it's all soiled already.
Oh god, it feels. I don't want to get in that car.
I kind of like where this is going.
Well, forever, and just going on and on.
No, like this is really good right here.
Yeah, well.
We should end it right now on a sweet spot.
Oh, sorry.
Easy.
Yeah, it's like cell phones making noises. So yeah, well, that's it.
Thanks again for listening. Now that we've gone on 20 minutes past the last one, and we'll be back, I imagine, in approximately 2 weeks with more drift stuff, more jokes.
Hey,
Another guest.
Some friends. We'll have some
more knowledge.
We're gonna learn.
We're here to learn.
This is a learning experience for all of us.
Yeah, it's been pretty good so far.
I think we've aced it.
No, we killed it.
Yeah,
I don't. I think we're at the top.
Seriously, please.
Hey guys, do you know what? I think we made it.
Tell us how much we sucked.
I think we made it.
No, we nailed it.
No, we've made it.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, guys.
Should we just fist bump it right here? Nailed it.
I like. Yeah, let's just touch. We can just touch every.
There you go.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Let's
see you later.
say goodbye and.
That was goodbye. We did 40 goodbyes, so we should cut it there.
Bye.
Bye.